When one reaches star status, it is not an invitation to show everyone how to change the world. It's not our business to change the world. We are here to entertain the world and to sell drinks and souvenirs.
So kind, would you mind introducing yourself for the mic?
Yeah, hi, I'm Joe Shithead Keithley from D.O.A. That's who I am.
And right now we're standing outside of Rumah Api in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where you are, I don't know, are you in the middle of your Asian tour or near the end?
Well, about 2/3. I mean, it's really not that long, like 9 shows, but so this is the 7th of 9. Yeah.
And you just got here from China, is that correct?
Yeah, we spent a week in China, which was great, and we've been here for a couple of days, and we move on to Macau.
Cool. Let's talk about how this tour came about. Had you already made plans to come to Malaysia, or was it a case of you knew you were going to be in Asia and you got in touch with some people?
It's actually the other way around. We knew we wanted to go to China again because we went to China in 2009 and 2014, and so we were going to go last year, but it got scrubbed, so we went to lined up 6 Chinese shows this time. So it's a friend of mine who books tours there, and he's an American guy and who happens to speak fluent Mandarin, which is quite an asset there in that country. I mean, a lot less in English there than in Malaysia, obviously, right? So yeah. So yeah, China first, and then he added on. I really personally wanted to go to Vietnam because it's just a really fascinating place. It's had a big influence in the world, especially like you think about North America, like a history there in the 60s and 70s. And but that got scrubbed, so maybe within the next couple of years we'll get back here and go Vietnam, perhaps Indonesia. Yeah.
I mean, these guys have pretty good contacts throughout Southeast Asia, so I think if you want to do like Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, like it would be easy to set it up for them.
Yeah, I mean, we might couple it with, we haven't been in Japan for a long time, so next year we'll probably end up in Japan for 8-10 shows or something like that, so we'll kind of build it around there.
So you'd actually been to China before.
Yeah.
Both 2009 and 2014 were tours, or were you just visiting?
No tours. Yeah. Cool. We did 4 shows the first time and only 4 the next time. But but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah. You talked about going to China a little bit in the song Ni Hao.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the language barrier is difficult to cross, but
yeah.
I mean, in terms of just like punk rock culture and rock culture, were you finding yourself understood pretty easily?
Yeah, I mean, if we have English-speaking audience, then I'll talk a little bit more. But if English is not the first language, then we kind of shorten what we're saying because it's especially I have a really a way of garbling words, when I'm on stage. So it doesn't help if you have a guy with a Canadian accent who's not speaking that clearly, and English is not your first language. That's not a great combo to start with, right? So, yeah, but it did translate in the way, for example, like we put in Liang, or Liang, I'm not sure, and Guangzhou and Changsha, and it was all 90 to 99% all like Chinese audience, right? Whereas like in Beijing and Shanghai, there's a lot of expats showed up, obviously. So I thought it was really interesting because in that case, when you don't have a chance to explain something in your native language that they would understand, then really all you got to do is like really try and rock really hard to try and convince them. Oh yeah, these guys are good. We like them, type thing. And that's like, it's interesting, especially that some of the songs are known. A few people will show up with records to sign and stuff like that, from the old days. But you have to show them that you got it. That's the convincing factor. So which is good because it actually makes you work harder.
What were the venues like? Were they mostly DIY spaces, or were they?
No, actually they were like one. Like the place in Beijing was kind of like a undergroundy type club, and 3 of them were like really like live houses, where the all the bands go to play type thing, with a big PA stage, that kind of thing. So this is kind of a welcome change in the sense that it's like it's so DIY that you actually get a look at the real scene in a sense, right? So, which is cool.
In terms of the scenes over there, I mean, what was your take on them?
The Beijing music scene's fantastic. It's come up with like a lot of great bands. Like I said, that's the first place we kind of hung out in 2009, and we had gone to Shanghai too, but then the audience was at least half expat, so it was like a little bit hard to tell. So, but I thought Beijing was great, and so we saw a lot of great bands there, and in other places too, right? So, we did see some great bands in Changsha too. That's right. So, so it's kind of really developing now. But like say 5 years ago in China, or like 8 years ago, it was like going to shows in 1981 or something like that. It was like so new. It's become a little more, there's more bands and people were more used to going to shows. But the first time we went, people really liked it, but they were kind of like, it was like kind of a little bit slack-jawed, like, huh? Like a little bit like that. We're going, oh boy, right? So then that in 2009, it was like, wow, that people didn't know any songs at all, right? That in 2014 more, this time more. So it's obviously building up a little bit, right? So, which makes it easier for us. But the first time was really unique, and we went away from there like, okay, that was fucking great. That was really an experience that you remember the rest of your life type thing. Like going back home, playing like clubs where, the audience is always great, and it's fun to play, and we love playing, and love causing trouble, and love politics and all that kind of stuff that makes up D.O.A. But if you play the same places, like the same club in a strip mall on the I-5 highway between Vancouver and L.A., we've done that many, many times. But when you go to a unique place like here or like in China, then that's a lot more memorable.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you find that the audiences in Asia are a lot less jaded? Like there's a lot less of that punk rock kind of crossing your arms and.
Yeah, but I think the punk rock scene's doing pretty good in North America, where you get that across your arms and stand around and look bored, like in LA, New York, maybe a little bit in Toronto, a little bit in my hometown, Vancouver. Because every band's got to go through there, and they do, right? And so we don't get a lot of that, but I know exactly what you mean, where people are like, it's almost like got too much choice, right?
Yeah.
So this is playing here, even though the town's maybe like huger than, far larger than ones back home. The audience is much newer, so there's less of that sense of people being jaded about the whole thing. Absolutely.
Henry Rollins has a radio show, and he was talking about how you guys were basically the Johnny Appleseed of the hardcore scene, where basically before there was a touring network, you were the first guys in a lot of these towns to actually go and bring like punk rock and hardcore and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I mean, Henry's got that right. It was kind of interesting because we went to the first places. A lot of times we were the first band that punk rockers ever seen, right? In the scene, and in Europe too, because we went there pretty early on. Maybe we would be like, not the first punk rock band to see. Hey, thank you. But the first one, North American band they had seen. And in some cases, say in Poland, we were like pretty well the first punk rock band to play there. I mean, there was a band called Deserter. It's funny because you end up playing there, and then you come back like a year later, and you find bands that kind of sound like D.O.A. because that's the first band they've seen.
Yeah.
But we were really good buddies with all the versions of Black Flag, with Des singing, with Keith and Henry, of course, and Ron. Well, those guys did a lot of traveling too. So I put them like the same category, the pioneers from L.A. that spread the scene out. And so what happened is, because we became good friends with those guys, we would trade numbers or like contacts with them and go like, oh, well, don't go to Sacramento. This guy will fucking rip you off for sure. Or go here. The people are like honest and there's a pretty good scene. So there was a lot of exchange between Black Flag and D.O.A. And say a band like Dead Kennedys, which is like another great band from the early scene, because they got like quite a bit more popular very quickly and became, renowned, shall we say, they would just kind of fly in and do shows. They wouldn't do like this 2 months or 3 months of just driving in a van like Black Flag or D.O.A. So yeah, definitely those are the two bands that kind of set up the whole circuit.
As far as the network that you guys created, I think in the current day and age where you can just like Google a venue and search for stuff, it's much easier now. I think back then you guys literally had to share phone numbers, addresses, like this is the guy to talk to, this guy will let you crash at his place, It was a lot more
but the first time we went to England in '81, did like 4 shows in London, a big show with the Dead Kennedys. But the first real tour we did of Europe was in '84, and that resulted, we got a letter, so in the mail, snail mail, and with these guys in Poland, said, we heard your song General Strike, and there had been a general strike in Poland, obviously, and we'd like you to come here and tour here. So we didn't have a phone number for them, so we wrote them back a letter. Yes, we are D.O.A., but D.O.A. would love to come and play in Poland. When can we? So then we waited for a letter to come back from there, right? So you can imagine there was like weeks in between. Right. So once we got the letter, it said, come in like in March between this date and this date for like 6 shows. So then we had a record company in England, and they set up shows like before and after. So it was pretty funny because like I was teaching music business for a while back in Vancouver, and I would tell my students who were all like 20, 25 that we booked shows by mail, and they didn't even know what mail was, right? Let alone they didn't know what a CD was, and they didn't know what a turntable was. They probably know what a turntable is now because it's come back in vogue. But in those days, it was a lot more difficult. But I tell you the one thing, the World Wide Web is a great thing for getting your music around, right? So there's a lot more access, so you can find stuff. Like here, like we would never dream to go into Malaysia, like in the 80s, right? For example, or China would have been like fucking impossible, right? So the web has made that, internet has made that much easier. But the one thing has made the bands like a lot less unique in the sense that now there's so many bands you can get your stuff around. In those days, there was like a lot less bands, a lot less metal bands, a lot less punk bands. Now there's more because you can go and record an album cheaply. With technology is a lot cheaper than it used to be. So what bands are having the problem with now is what I call, there's so many bands, I call it the noise floor. Yeah. And to get noticed and get above the noise floor is the most difficult thing for a new band, right? So, and if I could tell them how to do it, I could tell people how to walk on water too, because I don't know how to do it right now.
eyes, so now I say, shit. I didn't know anybody. Woman among your side, by many cool friends I made. Cause I just found all I had to say, is yeehaw. At the airport I got a taxi, drove to a traffic jam. How much money is that? The taxi driver ripped me off. With Shanghai and Beijing to the Great Wall, and opened my eyes, so now I say, shit. I didn't know anybody. Woman among your time, by many cool friends I made. Cause I just found all I had to say, is yeehaw. To the Great Wall, it opened my eyes, so now I say, shit. I didn't know anybody. Woman upon your side, by many cool friends I made. Cause I just found all I had to say, is yeehaw. Yeehaw.
In terms of the touring, where does that touring ethic come from? Are you guys just naturally adventurous?
I think we're adventurous, curious, and hardworking, and that was kind of the hardworking aspect. That's how we came up with the term hardcore, and popularized that term, so to speak. Is that we thought, okay, this is like the punk rock that we're doing in North America is not, especially on the West Coast, was not like the New York sound. It's not like the London sound. But what the bands are like really straightforward. It's less of a fashion show, and there's like a lot of hard work involved, right? As with the bands I spoke before, with like with the Circle Jerks, Black Flag, D.O.A, and so on, right? So it's like that kind of work ethic was really important, and I still think that's the way bands can make it now, because it's you're not going to get on a TV show and have millions of fans vote you in. Which is what I think some people that don't know anything about the music business think, oh, well, that's how you do it. You get on The Voice, or when there used to be American Idol. I know there's tons of variations all around the world. No, the people these are like setups. The people that have been working their way up for years, been taking pro singing lessons since they're like 4 years old and singing in church and stuff like that. But the real creative bands, the underground bands that have made the great bands over the years in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, just started out in their neighborhood and they just started touring and just caught a break somewhere along the line, right? But kept working really hard,
I think definitely in terms of bands that you think of being not necessarily famous, huge megastars, but it's like the Dead Kennedys and Black Flag. A little bit of it was luck, and a little bit of it was being at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, timing is everything.
But so much of it was just the work ethic.
They went at and worked hard, and we're also I think the other thing is really a lot of young musicians don't necessarily get this. It's like when you make a good album, you don't necessarily want to make the next album sound exactly like the last album, right? Become really cookie cutter. Now, there's lots of bands who have made a career out of that, where you get 5 albums, you can't tell which album you're listening to because they might have a good style, but it all sounds exactly the same, right? Because even the Ramones had they had their Machine Gun Attack, but they did mix it up with a bunch of variations on that, right? Which made each album a pleasure to listen to in that sense, right? So you got to be. I think the thing is just remaining creative is a really key part.
Is there anywhere that you haven't played yet that you'd really like to go to?
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see more of South America. We've only been to Brazil, so I think that'd be fun. And we keep talking about what D.O.A. should. D.O.A.'s played in about 45 different countries, 4,000 shows on 4 different continents, I think, over the years. And so our drummer Patty keeps saying, well, we should be really trying to. D.O.A. should go on a world tour and try and play in every single country in the world. Even if it's only landing at the airport and playing an acoustic guitar, and they'd be like the Guinness Book of Record, like D.O.A. played in all 202 countries plus Taiwan which is not recognized as a country or whatever, right? Something like that. That would take a fair doing, but I'm game for anything that's new.
Yeah.
So I don't really have a wish list. To come to Asia has been really interesting. So I'm like I say, Vietnam would be cool. That'd be one of them I'd like to go to.
Cool.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can make this happen in the next couple of years.
Sure.
D.O.A. in Vietnam. I'll be there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about because you ran for this not that long ago, and you've run a couple times.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about, and D.O.A. has always been a political band, but very few punk musicians actually go into politics in that way.
Yeah. It's rare. I just met guys, not punk rock, but it was like metal. Freddie Lim. He's like a legislator in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we actually had a meeting with them. They were set up because just because my connection, like having run with the Green Party a bunch of times. I can't think of too many. I mean, Peter Garrett from Midnight Oil comes to mind. Obviously, he was in government, Minister of the Environment there for a few years, right? So it was really interesting to get somebody like a person with a vision like that in government. I think it's good thing. I think the advantage that musicians have over like a lot of people is that you've been around the world, you've encountered a lot of situations, and you've dealt with a lot of different types of people. So it kind of gives you like a wider, I'm not saying better, but a wider view on the world than somebody might be if they haven't been adventurous in their life. And that's kind of the card that I play with people. Like I've got a lot more experience, than my next three opponents put together, right? So got like a world view, and I think this would help you. Let's say you're the voter, and would help my town and would help Canada. I dare say if we did it right, it would help other people in the world too, right? Which is also a goal, of course, right? So,
what specific office were you running for?
It's called MLA, which is like it's the equivalent of like a U.S. congressperson, like in say in California or Washington type thing.
And you were running with the Green Party?
The Green Party, yes. I have run for them 4 times now.
Okay. Yeah. For somebody who's not that familiar with Canadian politics, can you break down the difference between the New Democrats, the Greens, and the Liberal Party?
Yeah, there's a few different levels, right? There's we have a Conservative Party federally, a Liberal Party, which is kind of like center-right, NDP, which is like Labour left-wing party, kind of akin to the Labour Party in England, right? And the Green Party, which is the smallest of the 4, and obviously we're way ahead of the curve on like green ideas, preserving the environment, green technology, and we're more in the center economically, trying to create jobs for everybody, right? Through sustainable form of like creating jobs through trying to transform the economy into something that will keep lasting and jobs that make sense rather than just fossil fuel based jobs, which is that's a big thing in Canada. Like it's interesting down here because Petronas obviously is the giantest corporation down here, but we were like completely opposed to them. They wanted to come and open up a liquefied natural gas plant in British Columbia, way up in the north, a really pristine area, and we were like dead set against it. And fortunately, they found it was 2 months ago. They just said it's not economical, and they had Petronas pulled out. And this was right after we managed to defeat the right-wing government in British Columbia. So it was like a sort of a double good thing happened this summer, right? So nothing against Malaysia, but we were not fans of Petronas.
Right.
Even though I went up to Petronas Tower this afternoon.
We're not that crazy about them over here, but
yeah. No, I'm sure it's a big part of the economy, though, right? Yeah.
Well, they pay to keep whoever's in power. So.
You don't need to tell me that, but I'm glad you did. I'm sure that, I've heard you had the same government since 1957, right? So
essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
The Green Party is interesting to me because it seems like no matter, well, particularly Western nations, but no matter what country you are from and culturally, what culture you belong to, it's a party that has a lot of cross-cultural value because a lot of people can see, with their own eyes, this is what we need to protect, and this is what's happening right now in our own environment.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. I don't know how you've seen quite a bit of the world, and I think the ideas that the Green Party espouse carry through most of the world.
Yeah, I think that the thing is that it's one of the only kind of movements in the world that there is. There was I mean, I dare say the only other one that's like really has gained traction, unfortunately, is like ISIL, ISIS type thing, right? Which is like big in many areas of the world, right? So, but the green movement is one of the only isms, shall we say, in the world that's really like kind of gathering steam, and people are realizing that, you know, because if you go to British Columbia one day and you go to Beijing the next day, you go like, holy shit! I mean, yeah, they created like economic transformation in China that's unbelievable, but you're standing on the ground watching the planes at the Beijing airport, and they weren't going to end at the end of the runway before you couldn't see them. Right. It was so fucking dirty there, right? And it's just not healthy, and it's not sustainable. You know, so we have like quite a few Asian people have moved to Vancouver. It's the biggest Central Asian population in the world outside of Asia, right? So and that's a lot of that is because it's like clean, and people would take their kids there, right? And we have one of the last unspoiled coastlines in the world, which is one of the things we're trying to protect, right? So, but people can see the value in this, that we have to change. And you're seeing it already, like the car companies going to, like, you know, I think Volvo announced the other day that they'll only make electric cars by 2020, right? So, and you know, cities are banning like gas-run cars, like instead, you know, because it's like it's not good for your brain to breathe in all this stuff, and kids can't learn. Like, it's a fact that if you live by a highway with a lot of cars or super busy street, odds are your son or your daughter is going to do less well in school than somebody who lives even 3 blocks away from that main heavy congested street. You know, it's like, so we have, you know, there's over 7 billion of us, and we're going to be like 10 billion in like 30 years or whatever, the way we're going, right? So we can't sustain that. And it's the other thing too that goes for like, I'm not a vegan, but I think I should be, because the amount of money it takes and water it takes to grow grain, to grow cattle and feed pigs and all that kind of stuff. That's not a sustainable thing either when you have 10 billion people, or if we get to 15 or whatever, right? It will be impossible, right? You know, you couldn't grow enough grain. There's not enough water, right? You know.
And that's grain that would be better served for beer.
Yeah, it would be, or grain alcohol, which is a good thing too. Just don't have too much of it. I know from experience.
Are you planning on remaining involved in politics? Or are you planning on running again?
Yeah, we're working on, got a bunch of stuff when we come back. There's not going to be another election in BC for 3 years, but we're in 15 months. We have a civic, like city election in my hometown, which is called Burnaby. That's Burnaby. It's right next to Vancouver, like a big suburb. So we're forming a civic Green Party, and we think we're going to win a seat or two. And eventually I'm going to take a kick at running to be the mayor of my hometown. That's one of my goals. I'm not saying I'm going to make it, but that's one of the things I'm working on, right? So, yeah.
Excellent.
So I'll try and run for city council first. Yeah. And then maybe state level again in 4 years, right? So.
Cool.
Yeah.
Best of luck. I hope it works out.
Yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, thank you.
Now I die.
Actually is a really big deal for us, for you to be here. So thank you again.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. This is like, yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So we're finishing up right now. I want to talk a little bit about 40 years of D.O.A. and your view on hardcore, because you essentially coined the term, but I don't know if it means the same thing now as it did when you guys made it.
It doesn't. I put it off to now. D.O.A. came up with the term and popularized it. We did the first hardcore festival. We bought Black Flag and 7 Seconds and about 5 other bands up to Vancouver. Put out the album, then we did a North American tour. So that kind of pushed that term into popularity. Now it's like used all the time for all sorts of, athletics or whatever, be a hardcore type thing, And but now I say to me, hardcore is more like our buddies Agnostic Front.
Right.
And that's what I consider hardcore. But I think you could call D.O.A. hardcore punk. Okay. But say it's hardcore, then you have to split the two. So I think we'd just be known as the originators or the godfathers of the term. But we're not a hardcore band in the true sense of the word anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's just changed, which is okay. I mean, like hardcore, the original hardcore bands we thought were like, we lumped in Circle Jerks, the Avengers, us, Dead Kennedy, Circle Jerks, Minor Threat, Bad Brains, like that, all that. 1980 to 82 type scene, and it made sense. And people went, "Oh yeah, hardcore, I got it." But really transformed a lot by 86. Okay. You know, when you start getting all the crossover type thing, and metal influence came in. You know, which is cool. But we can still play hardcore fest. We have like in the Czech Republic and in Belgium and stuff like that. And first people think when we get up there playing in that audience that at first they think we sound like the Beatles or something like that, right? And they look at me and go, like, "Who's the old guy in guitar?" Right, type thing. But then after a few songs, go like, "Oh yeah, these guys are pretty fucking good." They get the association. Yeah. Like not every song would fit in, right? So if we play an audience like that, we would try to change the set a little bit. You know, obviously, right? So.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but we had a band play here called Mob 47 from Sweden. And
yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, of course. Yeah, they've been around for a long time.
Yeah, and they were one of the original bands that would have been called hardcore, except they didn't have a term for that. They're playing this kind of discharge hardcore punk. And so they called their music mangle. That was how they
like mangle, like you mangle somebody.
Like music, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So coming up on the 40th anniversary, do you guys have anything planned?
Well, we're working on it. We're not working yet. We will work on a new album in February. Should be up by about June. And then we're going to start like another whole worldwide tour for 018, 019, like 2 years type thing. I'll be working on a new book, and we're going to be shooting like a 40th anniversary documentary. And so like lots of plans. So we have like 20 shows when we get back in Canada. And then we're going to take a little break and just be working on new stuff.
Excellent.
And we'll be around again in May or June. Yeah.
Around here?
Well, not here, but I'm playing again. We're going to take a little break.
Okay.
Just record, right? So.
And finishing up, is there anything, I mean, they've been coming at you this entire time we've been talking, but is there anything you want to say to all the kids who came to see you tonight?
Yeah, talk minus action equals zero. So they're doing it here. And it's really good to have a healthy, active DIY scene. And it's great to see. Yeah, so they should be proud of themselves. And they got a great space going here. And I know they're getting kicked out, but hopefully the other one works out, right? So, yeah.
Cool. Excellent.
Okay.
Thanks so much, Roy.
Really nice talking to you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, enjoy the show.
The Eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring and bullets loading. You own not to kill, but not for voting. And the Jordan River has bodies floating. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Don't you understand what I'm trying to say? Can't you feel the fear that I'm feeling today? If the button's pushed, there's no running away. There'll be no love the same with the world in the grave. Take a look around you, boy, it's bound to scare you, boy. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. My blood's so mad it feels like coagulated. I'm sitting here just contemplating. You can't twist the truth, it knows no regulation. And a handful of senators can't pass legislation. And marches alone can't bring integration. When human respect is disintegrated, and this whole crazy world is just too frustrated. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Now when you on this earth, it really makes love hard to unearth. We're spilling blood, yeah, the human race. If you win your war, it's the same old place. They're pounding drums, they're pride and disgrace. You can bury your dead, but don't leave a trace. Hate your next door neighbor, don't forget to say grace. But you tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of. You tell me over and over and over again, my friend, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. Yeah, you don't believe we're on the eve of destruction. You don't believe to be free. Up in the mountains and down to the sea. Let's go for a justice that we never saw. You can't trust the courts and you can't trust the law. And the fist of the fascists we did feel. They tried to suppress us under the heel, but no army can stop. Stop an idea whose time has come. No, we won't. No, we won't give in. We'll keep up the fight. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. They'll try to break us. We might have to take it on the chin. The struggle will be long, but we'll keep up the fight until we all win. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. When we started, it should have been fast. We never knew how long the fight would last. They started the wars and built the factories. They pared the bank account to misery. They used religion and terror to market their plan, this colossal error. But the will of the people is strong. And the people gonna bring them down. No, we won't. No, we won't give in. We'll keep up the fight. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. The face of the enemy we have seen disguise themselves as almost anything. And the arm of the law is very long, and the reach of Big Brother is very strong. What they hate is what the truth is spread to text message and on the web. And the will of the people is very strong. And the people gonna bring them down. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't give in. We'll keep up the fight. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. They'll try to break us. We might have to take it on the chin. The struggle will be long, but we'll keep up the fight until we all win. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we won't. No, we won't. No, we won't. We won't give in. We'll keep up the fight. We'll keep up the fight until we all win. We'll keep up the fight until we all win.
Hey, how you doing?
I want you to give initial.
Sign it. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No. Okay. You got a pen. Cool. Sorry.
The record is already taken out, but the inlay
Here.
and everything is still inside. So I like this album because.
Yeah. So do I. It's a good one.
Yeah. A lot of ska.
Yeah. Here you go.
Yeah, and this is your face, so maybe you can sign over here.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
How's it going, buddy?
Yeah. Finally. Thanks for coming, man.
Yeah. No, you're welcome. No, thanks for having us. And oh, sorry, there. Let me see the back of that cover for a second.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a guy called Noam Chomsky?
Yeah, Noam Chomsky. Yeah.
Okay, that's D.O.A. warming up for Noam Chomsky in Vancouver.
Oh.
Like 20,000 people there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and somebody said, "Hey, you guys want to open up for Noam Chomsky?" I said,
Yeah.
"Fuck yeah!" And that way, it was a fucking great event. Like,
yeah,
10 years ago, that's where that photo's from.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like,
I think I read
05.
somewhere inside your inlay the information. I think.
Yeah, it was like also that as an anti-Iraq war thing too, right? So
you release yourself under sudden deaths, yeah?
yes, I run it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the president. I'm the shipping guy, and I'm also the A&R guy, and
and now you sign.
not quite the accountant. I can't do that. I fuck everything up there. Yeah, no. Yeah, the label's going good, right?
Yeah. You running inside Facebook somewhere?
Politics as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't win, so I'm here.
Yeah. Maybe some.
What's your name?
I'm Pijan.
Pijan. Nice to meet you. I'm Joey.
Yeah, Joey.
Yeah.
So maybe one of my friend who's running some kind of online fanzine.
Yeah.
He would like to have a brief interview.
Sure, we can. Why don't bring him over? I'm almost done here with Adrian.
Yeah. Maybe I will talk to.
Go grab him.
Yeah, he's smoking right now. Maybe.
Oh, he's smoking. Okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
That's a terrible habit. That's being a smart ass now.